is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the second week of us just best puck drafting. But we try to make it a thing in the summers. We did it last week. It's been a crazy week for me since then, but we're here. We made it. The draft is actually starting right now. What is going on, Cliffy?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Just getting ready to settle in here for another draft. Looks like you have second overall. Yeah.
I had the second pick this morning as well. You have the 9th. I see Frostback hopped in for back-to-back picks. I'm sure, it'll be fine until he starts drafting Ducks in the 7th round. But
yeah,
we'll try to get the draft board up there.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now.
And if it's still an issue, I'll put it up on my screen next week because I don't cue people because I just go off vibes.
Okay. I mean, do you have anybody in mind for a second overall pick right away?
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be McDavid unless the guy or girl in the one spot gets a little feisty and takes someone other than McKinnon. I usually will just take McDavid. There has been some thought to me taking Matthews in the second spot, but without the greatest winger of all time in Mitch Marner, it's kind of hard to not go McDavid here because it feels like McDavid should be the number one overall anyway. I know McKinnon is a great player, but when McDavid's on and that power play is rolling, he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, and he is that power play too, right? Yeah. That's something that we didn't really talk about. I mean, we didn't talk about it at all last week. I guess we'll talk about it now. Their power plays per game went down a lot. Zach Hyman's penalties drawn went down. McDavid's penalties drawn went down. Draisaitl's penalties drawn went down. If that happens again, hey, bad news.
I mean, they have the GOAT Isaac Howard, so it should be okay. I'm sure actually he'll probably commit more penalties than he draws early on, but
yeah, I was hoping to get Kaprizov at 9. We've seen him fall, pretty consistently outside the top 6, but
yeah, it's kind of weird because some people take Makar super early, which is fine. I have no issue with Makar going 6th or 7th. But if you could get Brady Tkachuk at 9, that's the status quo pick at 9. You have to be happy with that.
Yeah, I always say it. We're just waiting for that one season when he has that breakout year, right? He shoots 14% or something like that, puts up 41 goals, still has 250 shots, 200 hits or whatever. He's gonna have one of those seasons. It's just a matter of when it happens.
I wanted to start the show with something. Oh, I really there's a lot of people who do season long points projections for teams. And I really don't want to get on people here. But I'll let you pick first and then I'll go talk my sauce.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. The disrespect the Habs are getting in these people's projections. And I'm a Rangers fan, original 6. We have a big rivalry. People still think Carter or Chris Kreider ran Carey Price. We're not going to talk about that. What bothers me about the points projections is they've improved their blue line. They're going to get Doc back healthy. They have Demidov for a full season. I don't think people realize how big of a change it is from taking David Savard off the blue line and putting in Noah Dobson. David Savard looked like Benji Molina trying to beat out a infield single. It was brutal watching him skate.
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked about it early in the summer. As far as swapping one player for another, it's harder to have a bigger upgrade than going from David Savard, who, listen, the guy had a long career, Stanley Cup champion, he was definitely a mentor to the younger Habs guys while he was there. Like this is not intended for disrespect for him, but by the end of his career, like he was a borderline NHLer, probably should have been in the press box. And going from that to Noah Dobson, who, he's not an elite defenseman, but he's certainly a pretty good number 2 defenseman and very good puck mover. Like it's just one of the biggest upgrades you can possibly make at a position. And then, like you said, Doc, hopefully healthy. Full season from Demidov. Everybody, all the other big names are coming back. Caden Gooley got hurt last year and missed, I forget what it was, like 15 or 20 games or something like that. So getting him for a full season and a year older, like, all the defensemen are still pretty young. So, like, listen, I'm always worried because Montreal still does have a long way to go defensively, but it'll be one of those things where it'll be disappointing if they if they're pretty healthy all year and miss the playoffs. That'll be a disappointing season. Now, if a bunch of guys get hurt and they miss, like that, shit happens. But if they stay pretty healthy and still miss the playoffs, that'll be a disappointment.
And I don't know if it's like just the main beat writer driving the narrative, but like the Crosby to Montreal narrative won't shut up. Nothing's going to happen with that 100% before the Olympics. So like, it shouldn't even be on the front burner, but it's just like, it's been getting noisier since the trade deadline last year.
Yeah. And I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, you never really know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Coming up on the third pick. Still not sure exactly where I want to go here because I started center winger, so I can do pretty much whatever I want here. But
yeah, I went center winger defenseman. Just vibes. Best goalie in the league sitting there for you at 33.
Yeah. No, I'm going to take Keller. We mentioned it last week. It seems like people are going to be pretty high on Utah. I have no problem drafting Utah players. Clayton Keller had 91 points last year, and that team's only going to be better. So don't mind it at all. It was between him and Rasmus Dahlin. I think I can get some pretty good value defenseman a little bit later, so that's kind of why I waited.
Frostback with little boy goals.
Yeah. Honestly,
and Suzuki. I don't mean to just absolutely rain on Frostback's parade because I do it all the fucking time. But like Suzuki there just feels early. Like I know it's his ADP. It's just early for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree a little bit. But I mean, by the same token, he can pop 50 some seasons. So
yeah, and he drafted Caulfield, so it makes sense to. Okay, guess I will not be drafting Dylan Guenther in 6 picks.
Yeah, nice job.
Cool beans. It's not super early, but like, when they weren't healthy, that top line was seeing heavy minutes. If they can run 3 lines, they're going to play 17 minutes.
That's what kind of worries me, right? Is that they kind of do what Dallas does, where they do have a top line. They have guys that their top line center will play close to 19 minutes or something like that. But most of the wingers or whatever, even their top wingers are going to play like 17 minutes. And Jason Robertson played like 17:45 or something like that last year. So
that's my issue with Rantanen.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I worry about Caulfield. It's like if I knew Caulfield was playing 19 and a half minutes, like he's a slam dunk top 30 pick.
Oh, yeah.
I worry that it's going to be 17 and a half minutes or 17 minutes or something like that. And I think Martin St. Louis wants to do that. Like you said, when they were healthy, they would back off the minutes of the top line and give some more to the depth. And, if they have a genuine second scoring line with, whoever's there with Demidov, and they have a solid third line, with Brendan Gallagher and Josh Anderson or whatever, like they had last year, like they might do that. So we'll see.
And I mean, if Doc is back healthy too, and they keep Line somewhere in the bottom 6, they probably will send out Suzuki against the top comp, but like if Doc can come back healthy and prove he can be that two-way player, that it will take responsibilities away from Suzuki.
Yeah. See, Natchez and Jarvis went 44th and 45th. Now, obviously, Natchez is in Colorado now, but it reminded me to talk about Carolina a bit. Like, I'm not super high on Sebastian Aho, and obviously, like, I'm not sure, other than Goss Despair super late, that they really have a defenseman to draft. But, man, all those wingers, whether it's Jarvis, whether it's Ehlers, whether it's Svechnikov, even a last-round Stankoven or something like that, I do find like there's some pretty good value on Carolina, and they are one of those teams that I wouldn't mind stacking in best ball this year.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Minnesota Wild beat writers thinking that Carolina, if Kaprizov becomes available, Carolina is going to be the team to pursue him the heaviest. But, you know, that's all conjecture. They still don't have a center for their second line.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there, right? Because I don't think they can afford to just let him walk away, right?
They're in a weird spot, yeah.
Like, if they know he's not coming back, are they going to pull a Rantanen and just trade him in like January or something like that?
Or like, if they're having a good season, risk a Columbus Panarin.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, laughs and Pat Verbeek. I mean, Pat Verbeek hasn't laughed since 1979. Have you seen his face? Ullmark is one of the goalie targets that I don't have enough of because the Sens are an actually good defensive team, and they got rid of Hamonic, and he was their big problem on the blue line when he played. They were atrocious.
Yeah, it's not going from Hamonic to Jordan Spence isn't quite Savard to Noah Dobson, but it's like just a step below that, honestly. Because even if you're not a big Jordan Spence fan, like he is a legitimate NHLer, like a number 4, number 5 defenseman or something like that. Travis Hamonic just wasn't like an NHL caliber defenseman anymore.
Yeah, so Yzerman gave him like a 3-year. No, it was a 1-year contract, but Yzerman will find a way to get him in the lineup for the Wings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to take Jake Sanderson here. I'm not super high in Sanderson specifically.
You got Tkachuk, though.
That's the thing, is that it and Ullmark, so it kind of helps round out my Ottawa stack a little bit. And it's not like I don't like him. Like, I think he was, the 9th defenseman off the board. I have him as the number 12 defenseman, so it's not terrible.
He's just in a weird spot, ADP-wise.
Yeah, like, because honestly, like, Moritz Cedar went a couple picks before. Like, if Cedar was still there, I'd rather take him. You know what I mean? I like Sanderson. Ottawa's 5-on-5 scoring just has to get better. Like, that was atrocious last year.
I am up next. Okay, he didn't take Hyman, so now I have McDavid and Bouchard. Hyman may miss the first month of the season, but like if he comes back healthy and that power play is rolling, having McDavid and Bouchard and not Hyman would be kind of silly. So gonna take. It's not like drafting Tkachuk and be like, yeah, if he comes back in February, maybe I can get some good playoffs out of him, but. I don't know.
Yeah, I still don't know what to do with Tkachuk. Like,
his ADP's been dropping, so like,
yeah, it has, but he still went 51st overall. Like, you know, like Tim Stützle and Connor Bedard went in the 10 picks after him. Like, I don't know, man. I think even like a 50-ish pick, I still couldn't do it. Like, maybe once if he gets to like 75th or something, maybe. But like, this guy's still missing half the season. So you're taking a 5th round pick and straight up putting him on the bench till January. Like, that feels.
And you know what scares me? He's going to be healthy right in time for the Olympics, and he's going to be like all jacked up for the Olympics and go out and hurt himself again.
I mean, he could. Let's see what we got going on here.
Ivan Demidov, when I started drafting in August, his ADP was like 101. Now it's like 88, 89. I still have none. I can't do it. He would have to outperform Mitchkov's season last year.
Yeah, I'm not in at that price. I am going to take Markstrom though. I did a draft the other day and I got stuck on goalies so bad. I think I took my first goalie was Demko, and then I got like Askarov or something like that, and then there was nobody left. My third goalie's Tristan Jarry. It's like right, that team's riding an Allmark Askarov Jarry train. I'm like, there's no way that's coming top two. There is no way that's working out.
Dubas is gonna be like, Yar, you won 3 in a row. You're going to the minors, man. We got a tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's why we didn't see any signing trades between McDavid and possibly Kaprizov, and then the heavy front end of the draft board next year. Ooh, there's going to be a lot of tanking teams.
That's what I mean. That's why it's kind of funny. Like San Jose goes out and signs Orlov and Klingberg, and they trade for Leddy or whatever, and like they're trying to put an NHL team on the ice, and they still might only end up with like 65 points. It's like,
but the difference is that they're signing guys that they know are kind of bad. The Kings signed CC and Brian Dumoulin thinking they're actually going to be
those are the missing pieces for Stanley Cup.
That's going to be like, wow, are they in for a rude awakening? And that's the exact. I was telling someone, it might have been you, I don't know. That's why I don't have any Darcy Kemper, because if those guys are going to play meaningful second pair minutes, that is a massive downgrade from Gavrikov, Mikey Anderson. They were the toughest pair to go play against in LA. But
yeah, like I still think the Kings are going to be good defensively. I think it might honestly almost hurt them more offensively. So like at least Gavrikov was an above average puck mover. I don't think CC and Dumoulin are either of them are that. And then, Mikey Anderson, he's a good defense. You asshole.
You're so many picks away.
Yeah, but I thought he might fall. Yeah, maybe not. Just ruined my stack, you dick.
You had a blue stack going?
Well, I took Thomas. I was going to try to get a late one going.
Oh,
not anymore, I guess.
I didn't even notice. I'm just going off vibes. I keep drafting Noah Dobson. He keeps falling to me after his ADP, and I keep taking him. And people have wild opinions about Noah Dobson for whatever reason. He's polarizing figure. The Islanders sucked.
I think the part of it is that he just doesn't have a top power play role, right?
But it doesn't matter.
No, I know. Like, I still think like he's gonna have great. Like, I have him as like I think it's like my number 16 defenseman or something like that, 16 or 17. I've seen some spots have him like in the 20s, and I get it because like if that secondary scoring doesn't pick up for Montreal, like if Demidov is just good and not great, and like Doc doesn't come back and be impactful, et cetera, and he doesn't have a top power play role, like he's just not going to put up a lot of points. They really need that second line to come through.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But also, like, Tony DeAngelo had power play one role for the Islanders. The Islanders, after Barzal got hurt and Brock Nelson got traded, didn't even have one line of scoring, and he did all right. I mean, he played massive minutes, and that might be an issue in Montreal because they do have two good pairs, but we'll see. I'll take them after ADP in that situation more often than not.
I'll finish off my Utah stack there.
There you go. See?
I mean, yeah, Cooley, Keller, Genther, and then Kachuk, Sanderson, Allmark, pretty happy with that. I wish I could have gotten Stützle, but so it goes.
Yeah, he's in a weird spot too. He's going before Bedard, which I get. He's like, Stützle is one of those guys who's a great player. He's not the best for fantasy and DFS.
He needs 20 to 21 minutes a game. Yeah. Like he's a volume merchant. Like, it's kind of same thing as like Caulfield. Like if he gets it a couple minutes, which he won't, like Stützle is going to play heavy minutes. Like he has to, but yeah, that's the only reason he puts up any kind of volume in his peripheral stats.
I should look at my team to see what I need to do here. Oh, I probably should have drafted Joel Eriksson-Ek instead of Noah Dobson instead of Travis Konechny, who I always just auto-click. I have like 30% Travis Konechny on my 50 teams.
A Philly stack is an interesting concept in these drafts because like
hard to do though because there's no center. Zegras is a winger.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you'd have to do like a Michkov Konechny in the first 6 or 7 rounds or whatever, and then grab Sanheim super late or something.
Or if you're like have 3 really good centers, you could take a gamble on Sean Couturier that'll have like 3 good weeks of the season.
It'd stay healthy.
But that seems like a tough chore.
Feels like Brian Rust is a guy that's getting a little bit disrespected. I wrote about him, I think today, this morning over at Dauber Hockey. Like, he's still going to get over 19 minutes a game and play top line, top power play with Crosby. Like, that's still pretty valuable.
Until he gets traded. But yeah.
I think that's the issue, right? Is like, middle February rolls around. But like, even if he gets traded, like it's probably to a contender, right?
Or Buffalo. He's been linked there, so who knows? It's my opinion.
It's funny you're throwing out Buffalo like they just have no chance of making a deep playoff run.
I'm still mad at Buffalo. 2 seasons ago, I had like Tage Thompson Hart tickets and then making the playoffs, and they just absolutely hit the brick wall down the stretch. I don't even know why I took Bo Horvat there, but I did.
I mean, like I said, it feels weird to say, but I do like the Islanders just because of their draft values. Horvat, Barzal, Tony DeAngelo. I think he can get away with like a 17th round call or 16th round call, Palmieri or whatever. Like, I do think there's still pretty good values on the Islanders. So that's the thing. It's like, typically in years past, you're taking Barzal in the 4th round or the 5th round or something like that. Now you can take him in like the 8th or the 9th. Like that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Patrick Waugh spoke the other day, and it's just all coach speak because they haven't even hit camp yet, but he had Barzal centering the second line before they even hit the ice. But who knows?
I mean, I think that they kind of have to, right? Just because they got rid of Brock Nelson, they don't have anybody else. Like they're not going to – who's JG Pajot or something going to play second line center? Like don't really have options.
Yeah. I mean, that team's going to blow. Like they're not even going to be fun because it's in Long Island, but like they have a bright future. They had quite the offseason and draft, so – unlike the Boston Bruins signing Trent Frederick to a 36-year contract, that'll fix your problem. Adding more third liners to an already roster full of third liners is really going to make a difference,
Well, I was hoping to get McAvoy here, but I'll take Montour. That's fine.
Seattle's interesting because they are absolutely committed to mediocrity. But like Montour and Dunn are interesting plays because like maybe their power play gets a little bit better.
No.
Maybe it doesn't. But like Montour plays like 23, 24 minutes. That's about the only positive thing I could say about Seattle right now.
I mean, I think Joey Decord's a good value. They do have to get better, but I mean, they do have a new coach, so we'll see what happens.
The problem is they have 4 playable lines, so they do that crap with the minutes, which is awful for DFS and fantasy. But, maybe they'll leave Shane Wright next to Jared McCann and let them just go do the thing. Matty Beniers, who knows with him? He's a pretty good defensive center, but he needs to take that step forward offensively.
That's the thing. It's like, the early comparisons were to Barkov, and you can kind of see it because they were both really good defensively earlier in their career, but Barkov is also pretty good offensively, like basically right away in the NHL. Like not what he's been the last 4 or 5 years, but he was still pretty good. And Beniers just hasn't done that yet. Like he's turning into, I don't know, like Anthony Cirelli maybe. You know what I mean? Like, if he has a hot season, maybe he pops like 25 goals and 50 points. But that's, it's basically all the upside that he's shown for production. It's just not enough for your number one center. Yeah. Let's see. Spencer Knight is interesting. Like, and trust me, we do like to slag on the Blackhawks here. I do think that they're going to be a decent defensive team this year. Like that, I think Alex Vlasic honestly might be one of the most underrated defensemen in the NHL. We're both pretty high. I shouldn't say we're both pretty high, but Sam Rinzel certainly looks like an interesting offensive prospect. Obviously, you get a full season from Levshunov. They do have Wyatt Kaiser looks solid enough. Connor Murphy's still there as the veteran stalwart or whatever. Like that could be a decent blue line if those young guys all take a step forward. So that's what kind of makes Spencer Knight interesting to me. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Chicago or on Spencer Knight. Like Knight is going as a third goalie or whatever. It's not like you have to take him as your number 2 or something. So
yeah, and I'm an Askarov slappy, and let's not forget, like Spencer Knight has a massive pedigree like Askarov. Like he came in to Florida, like they drafted him after they signed Bob to a 10-year contract. So like he is the guy, you know what I mean? So like Chicago rewarded him with a pretty big contract off of like 3 weeks playing with them. So like they're obviously going to rely on them. Like the issue, and yeah, their blue lines improved. The issue for me is their forwards suck defensively. They're going to be playing a lot of fast-paced hockey with Bedard and Nazar as their top 2 centers. So, if Spencer Knight's going to be kind of like that Sharks goalie. It's like, yeah, he's going to face 40 almost every time. It's just a matter if he lets in 2 or 6. You know what I mean? Maybe they grow into it as the season goes on, but I think they're going to be better than the Sharks this year, which isn't really saying much, but I think they have improved more than the Sharks for sure.
Yeah, I do think the Sharks still have the better prospect pool. Like, if you're talking who's going to be the best team in 5 years, I really do think it's going to be San Jose.
Yeah.
But who's going to be the best team this season wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me at all. Where are we going to go here? I guess one guy I've been taking quite a bit around here is Mason McTavish. Like, I have no idea what his role is going to be on that team.
Or what team he's going to be playing for.
I mean, there's that too. But
he's not even signed. And, so, like, what are they doing? Yeah, but, like, the end of last season when he was playing with Sam Colangelo and was it Troy Terry? I don't even remember. I remember using them in DFS a bunch because Mason McTavish was just going nuts shooting the puck. I think that was the issue. Oh, maybe he was playing with Zegras, right? Zegras and Colangelo?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess I'm not getting Will Cooley. Yeah, I mean Anaheim with the new coach. Who knows? That's one of those you have to wait and see.
Yeah, I do think Anaheim's going to be better offensively. It's just how much better. Like, does their power play actually get better? Because if that power play is as bad as it was last year, as bad as it's generally been over the last few years, like nobody's getting 70 points.
Chris Kreider's got to help the power play.
I mean, you'd think so.
I mean, Chris Kreider is an adventure at 5-on-5 the past few years, but net front still one of the best in the NHL. So
yeah, that's something I wrote about when they brought him in. Is like, if you look at the shot chart for Anaheim when they were on the power play last year, they generated nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing from the slot and from the front of the net. It was all perimeter shooting, which is, perimeter shots are fine. Like, look at what Patrick Laine did last year, but you need to have the threat of something else to set up those perimeter shots. And if Chris Kreider can do that for them, that'll more than make up than whatever deficiencies he has at 5-on-5. Because I can't imagine he's going to play a top line role, right? Like, he's going to be like middle 6-ish minutes.
I would imagine so. I mean, anytime he played up with like Zibanejad and whomever up there, they just got absolutely destroyed. So like if you play him 15, 16 minutes a night in the middle 6, power play, net front, I think he can have a very productive season. Like, he is a stereotypical Duck at 5-on-5. Like, he was born to go with Jacob Trouba to go play for this Ducks team. Like, they are Ducks through and through. But like if he can't help the power play, I'm not sure anyone can. I mean, that's a bit of an awful statement, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, though. Yeah. But like he that's the thing, is like, if he can just make their power play league average, he'll be worth his weight in gold. I mean, certainly in fantasy. All right, we are rounding out the draft here. I have a winger defenseman I got to draft.
I'm just making a blue second line stack because I hate myself.
Cole Parayko's pretty interesting. Like, he's going pretty consistently outside the top 30 defensemen, which is, I think it's about where I have him. Yeah, I have him 28th. So like, he just feels like one of those guys, like, if St. Louis's scoring jump that they saw under Jim Montgomery, like, if that keeps up, like, can he have like a 15-goal, 40-point season and then add in all those peripherals, and all of a sudden he's a top 15 defenseman or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have Dobson, so I might as well get Walmart Dobson on my roster. I mean, that's not disrespectful to Parayko, but like, that's kind of the role he has the Dobson role for the Blues.
It's true. Speaking of Kreider, there he goes, 175th pick. I do think it's pretty funny that Jet Greaves is consistently going like 2 rounds ahead of Merzlikins, and Merzlikins is technically the starting goalie. Like, nobody believes this guy's going to be the starter by November.
They traded for Fedotov too, and everyone's like, "Oh, Greaves is going to be in the NHL." Has anyone watched Ivan Fedotov play goalie in the NHL? That dude is destined for the AHL.
Yeah. Rasmus Anderson keeps slipping, and like, I mean, I do get it. Like, with Weegar there and with Parayko there, like, he's not going to get top power play minutes, but he didn't last year either. And the guy, over the last 2 years, this guy's averaged 166 shots and 197 blocks every 82 games. in this format, that's like, it's what, 300, that's 4.5 fantasy points per game just through shots and blocks alone.
Yeah. And I'm sure he'll be playing next to Noah Hannafin before the season's over in Vegas. I have a hard time believing that he's still going to be on the Flames at the end of the season, but like,
yeah. Oh my God, Lafreniere in the last round. How the mighty have fallen.
Like, I'm one of the big, as Noah Hannafin goes, I'm one of the biggest Rangers optimists, but like, when Fox and Gavrikov are off the ice, it's gonna be a mess. And it's not like Lafreniere is some amazing two-way forward, you know what I mean? We got Matt Rempe though. Put the C on him.
Oh, just rounding things out here.
Has any seventh liner got more attention than Matt Rempe? It's like, can we just stop talking about him? Like, just send him to the minors.
I think he can be effective. He just can't be effective if he's taking, 80 minor penalties a year or whatever.
Just put Brett Berard on the fourth line instead of him.
Well, we're rolling up here on the last pick. You took Zuccarello at 191. I like Zook.
I just took Zook.
I mean, I'll check my positioning for him. I definitely have him as draftable in this format.
That was the first Zuccarello I took, but I also had Boldy in the second round, so I needed something to pair with him.
Yeah, I have Zook as my 60th overall winger based on 82 games played. Like, I feel like that's pretty fine.
He had a rough season, like, under the hood last year, but, like, Kaprizov was hurt for a while. Joe Eriksson-Ek was out for a while, so, like...
I mean, the guy's 38 years old. Eventually, it's going to all fall apart, but, he's still over 2 shots per game.
But, he's a good passer, and if you're passing the Kaprizov, you're going to look better instead of passing to, like, Ryan Hartman for the one-timer.
That's a good point. All right, drafts are done here. I'll just go over my team real quick. I ended up with 3 stacks: Utah, Ottawa, San Jose. So my Utah stack is Cooley, Keller, Genther. My Ottawa stack, Kachuk, Sanderson, and Allmark. And then my San Jose stack, I have Celebrini, Tyler Toffoli, and Will Smith. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this squad. I think my goaltending could be a little shaky. Like, Allmark and Markstrom isn't the best one, too. Markstrom could get hurt. Like, he's getting old. Allmark, the Sens, I'll always worry about the Sens, but, like, I feel pretty good about this team. I say that all the time about all my teams. Actually, that's not true. I think this is the 6th draft I've done, and there are 2 teams in there that are just absolutely dead in the water. The other 4 teams I'm kind of optimistic about, but yeah, I'll bring up this little chart that I posted the other day, and it's the difference in skater rank. So like winger 14 or center 33 or whatever, and my projections. And then their stack average fantasy points per game. So it's the top 225 skaters that I have projected overall, because 150 some get drafted. So I went to 225. And then the average fantasy points per game per their stack. And then that red line is the average difference between my ranking and the ranking on Underdog. Some of the teams, like New Jersey, is a team to stack. Detroit, Buffalo, certainly. Ottawa's in there. They have one of the bigger bubbles because there are a lot of players you can stack. You can, obviously there's Kachuk, there's Stützle, there's Batherson, there's Jake Sanderson, there's Allmark. There are a bunch of guys that you can draft for Ottawa. So I do have Ottawa as a pretty good stack. Utah is basically right on the borderline. I think they're fine. San Jose, not bad either, but obviously there's only a handful of guys to take. But I just wanted to bring this up because I think Buffalo, Detroit, New Jersey, Nashville, I know that they're all pretty old, but basically they're all values except for Forsberg. Forsberg's going about where I haven't projected, but like Yossi's going later, Marchessault's going later, Stamkos is going later. Like Marchessault and Stamkos are going what, 13th, 14th, 15th rounds. So I think Nashville's fine. The Rangers, obviously, because Zibanejad's going late and Trocheck's going late. I have great values on JT Miller, Adam Fox, not so much, but I think getting an Ottawa stack, like trying to get one of like Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa, Nashville, New Jersey, if you can, like getting one of those stacks, and then you go and get your later stacks afterwards. You go and get your Anaheims or your San Jose's or, Vancouver or something like that. I think that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. But anyways, like I said, happy with my team. I'm going to bring yours up actually here in a sec so you can talk about yours.
Yeah, I had no plan. Like I said, I just went off vibes. I went, I have an Edmonton stack. Of course, like after you're like, yeah, this is good stacks, and you see Edmonton way below the red line. I have a McDavid, Bouchard, and Hyman stack. Listen, if Hyman comes back quickly and that power play, they start drawing more penalties, their power play is disgusting. So obviously you have to take that stack. I have a St. Louis second line stack with Shen, Holloway, and Parayko. Like, listen, we quickly became Dylan Holloway guys. Him being hurt was one of the main reasons they didn't beat Winnipeg. Maybe it didn't make a difference. I don't know, but like his metrics were ridiculous on the ice. So I do really like Dylan Holloway at the 97 ADP. I also have a two-man of Boldy, Zuccarello. I guess you could throw Gustafson into that as a goalie. I have Konechny and Tippett together, and then I just have Horvat and Zibanejad as like, yo, go score some points, dudes. Like Horvat's fine, like as a one-off center, because he's one of those guys where like the Islanders can lose 3-1, and you look up and he has 9 shots on goal and an assist. You know what I mean? So like, Mika, if he's glued next to JT Miller all season, he should have a better season. His numbers improved drastically after Miller got there, and they moved him away from center. So like if I can get Mika at the 143rd pick all the time, like I'm gonna do that, being a Rangers fan or not. Like that is good value on Mika Zibanejad, top power play next to JT Miller all season. So like this isn't the best team I ever drafted. I've definitely drafted worse. So I'll probably won't remember where this is because I'm going to try to do 150, but maybe I should mark the teams we drafted on air. But, so I try to get more stacking in there. Just didn't happen this time. I don't force it, kind of like DFS when people ask, like, do you correlate with defensemen? I don't force it. If I happen to get there, I get there, and I kind of take that approach into stacking in Best Puck.
Yeah, like for me, like I didn't mind stacking here because the guys that I was taking it was around their ADPs. It's not like I had to reach for anybody. Like I have Keller as a 3rd round pick. I have Genther as a 3rd round pick, and I got him in the 4th. Sanderson is basically the one guy, and like I said, I took him basically a round ahead of where I have him valued. So like it's not really that big of a deal. And then there's no one else there that I had to force. So like the stacking just kind of worked out in my favor here. You brought up Bo Horvat. I'll just mention real quickly. He's played 2 full seasons with the Islanders. In those 2 full seasons, he's averaged 31 goals, 32 assists, and 249 shots every 82 games. He's 19th in total shots over the last 2 years, 19th in the league. He has more shots than Carter Verhaeghe, Kyle Connor, Tage Thompson, Mikko Rantanen, Alex DeBrincat. Like, the guy shoots the puck a lot. He gets 20 minutes a game. Like, I think that's a nice late pick. So, yeah, we're both feeling good. Vibes are up here today on the draft. Josh dropped, or I guess Chatbot dropped the reference link. If you want to join Stochastic, just click through that link, and we're obviously gonna have the NHL package up. later on. NFL has started. MLB is about wrapping up. NBA is around the corner. It's a busy, busy season for sports. So come join here at Stochastic. And we will be back next week.
I thought you were going to be like, Josh dropped $1 billion on his home repairs this week.
I mean, that did happen.
That did happen. Anyway, yeah, Frostback with no ducks. I'm going to give him a participation trophy, but his 3 centers are Suzuki, Hurdle, and Boone Jenner. So you win some, you lose some. But we will be back next Tuesday at this time. DJ Mitchell in the chat asking for more people for the next draft. He needs to get as many drafts in before he goes on his honeymoon into Europe. Give him a congratulations on getting married, and I'm sorry. I'm on my second one. It is fantastic. But yeah. We'll see you guys next week. We didn't really get an intro because the draft started right away. We'll try to get, it's fine, but I did have a couple things I wanted to talk about, but
I mean, training camp's open in the next day or two, so there'll be a lot more to talk about next week anyway.
Oh, DJ's heading out tomorrow, so him and his 11 bots that he just coded will be drafting all night.
Yeah. Good luck, have fun, and congratulations, dude.
Yeah. All right. We will see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Good talk. See you out there. Go Rangers.
See you next week, everybody.